People like seeing big numbers, they like talking about how they can do so and so million damage per hit. But what if I told you that bigger numbers are actually making your builds worse? You might be thinking I'm joking, but surprisingly, I'm not. Let's have a look at these two hypothetical weapons. First one does 1000 viral damage per hit with a fire rate of 1, and the second one does 100 per hit with a fire rate of 10. Assume similar ammo economy. While on paper you could say these two are identical or at least very close, in reality that's not the case, because the high fire rate weapon can stack status effects much faster. Have a look at these test results. This is the difference between the two against a corrupted heavy gunner. The difference is not a small amount, and if we run a mission accurate test instead, the difference becomes even bigger. I can already hear some of you typing in the comment section something about high fire rate weapons having a lower status chance. And you would be right, but the thing is, I didn't mention that there is another difference between the two weapons. The one with 1000 damage has a status chance of 100% while the other one has 10%. Yes, you heard me right, 10%. And it is still better. And there's another factor at play too, and that's overkill. What I'm trying to say is, if you do 10 million damage per shot, or 1 million or 100,000, they all do the same thing if you're one-shotting the target. So any damage past one-shotting is completely unnecessary, and most often the optimal builds don't one-shot because modding for one-shots is wasting mod spaces that could have been used to improve your kill times. So focus your builds on getting just enough damage that is needed for your target level, and then focus on increasing the fire rate and improving the ammo economy. Have a look at this build. This is what I used for Corinth Prime in my last recommended primary video, which I may or may not still consider a good build. Notice that I have both a fire rate mod and a reload mod. And here are the test results with that build in the latest iteration of the damage calculator. And now let me show you what will happen if I put more elemental damage and critical chance in the build instead. If you have a look at our consistency score, it is now 100, because we're always one-shotting the target, which may sound good until you notice that this build takes nearly twice as long to kill the test groups, so big numbers are not what you should mod for. To clarify, I'm not saying that big numbers are inherently a problem. What I'm saying is you shouldn't overly focus on the damage numbers and forget kill times, which can be greatly improved with fire rate and reload mods. Another mistake that I often see people making is measuring performance with damage per hit. If they see a weapon killing an enemy in one headshot and another only doing 50% damage, they think the former is superior. But if that was the case, the one-shotting Corinth build I showed you earlier would have gotten better kill times. The reason is simple. Measuring performance with per hit damage is just a bad idea. Warframe is practically a horde shooter, so if your weapon is not AoE, then you certainly want, at the very minimum, a respectable fire rate to deal with your targets. That's why I recommend using kill times as the testing grounds. So instead of spawning a bunch of heavy gunners in the simulacrum, spawn mission accurate enemies and time how long it takes to kill them all. However, human accuracy is quite inconsistent, which causes all sorts of errors. Not to mention that given how much of the weapon performance is based on randomness, you cannot accurately judge the build with just a few tests. But running the same test 50 times with every little change is not a viable option. And that's why I made my very own damage calculator. In the past, I did upload a video with the Python version of the program, but that is a bit outdated at this point, and the new one which you saw me use in this video is going to take a while to finish, but it should be ready for a recommended primary video within the next 2 to 4 months. So look forward to that. Well, would you look at that? It's time for me to get back to work. Unity won't write the code itself now, will it? I'll see you guys next time, and bye bye.